Hello, and welcome back. You may be wondering, we're talking about a bearded dragon here and why I'm at a box that says Chan's Fish Stuff. Well, before I moved, I had a fish tank, and as you all know, PA Fish Tanks came over and rescued my fish, and I also gave them tank and majority of my stuff, but I still have a good chunk of my stuff down here with me. So we're going to go look through. I think I still have a couple things in here that I can use for my bearded dragon tank. So obviously we don't need a water filter. Let's see, we don't need a fish net. We're going through. There's part of it. Hold on, got stuff falling everywhere. Here we go. This is what I use to turn my light off on my fish tank on and off. If I remember right, one of these outlets always had power, and the other one would turn on and off with the analog dial here. I'll have to test that to see. But essentially, once I plug this into the outlet, I set the current time, and then I can choose how long my light will be on. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to have one for my night light for the red light, and I'm going to have another one for the daylight heating lamp and for the daylight. Now for that, I think I'm going to have to get a bigger one of these. But you see in the pet stores, they have those big green reptile ones that are like, 20, 30 bucks sometimes. I forget what the exact price are. You don't always have to go and get something exactly from the pet store to make it work, to get it to work for your needs. This I had gotten at Lowe's, or might have even been Walmart. I don't know if Walmart has stuff like this. Probably does, knowing Walmart. Anyways, getting back from my tangent. Went to like Lowe's, picked this up. It's like probably half the price at Lowe's in the electrical department as it would be going to that of the pet store to buy this. So I'm going to take this, clean it up, because it has some dust and dirt from the old use on there. And we'll use this to turn on and off one of my lights. Forgive me, that's our little dog Ludwig, my brother's dog, hearing something and barking out about it over there. But I think that might be, because that's a water heating pad. Here's the other thing I was looking for. I had rocks inside my fish tank. Now, not all of the rocks are adaptable, can be used in a bearded dragon tank. Like, for example, I had lava rocks. Well, it's not advised to put lava rocks in with a bearded dragon because, one, they're sharp and jagged and they can cause harm as they slide across it. But two, because of the way the lava rock is, they can get their claws stuck in there and it can cause them physical harm. But this piece of rock is not. That's just algae. Alrighty, so we're back, and we're going to be tackling now the lighting control and heat for the system, because currently during my testing and setting up of the tank, I have been manually going up to the switches and turning them on and off as needed for the different light and heating controls for each and every night. But that is all going to change today with this little guy. I got it's a timer, analog timer that you can twist and turn around, push these tabs in and set the time. This one I picked up at Lowe's, as you can see there, the little Lowe's Project Source symbol. Picked this up at Lowe's for like 13 bucks it was. And this will help me do lighting control. I actually use something very similar in my fish tank setup. Proof of that is in this. And you're going to see at the beginning half of this video what I pulled this out of my fish storage box. But as you can see, different time and tabs I can go through and push or put up like that. Sorry, it makes it hard to do it one-handed. But you can also twist and set the current time, which is actually very important because when you're thinking about these, I'm holding it upside down. These get plugged into an outlet. They're an analog timer clock with day and night setting. Actually, no, I was holding it right side up. So since it gets its power from the outlet in the wall, if this were to ever come unplugged for whatever reason, or say, you know, something happens like you lose power in your house, you're going to want to check your timers and make sure that they're still set to the current time. Because if not, your tank cycle for lights and heating could be out of whack, which then will confuse your poor bearded dragon. And yes, I am still currently bearded dragonless. I am getting close to finding which one I want. It's just a process you have to go through and find which one you may like to start off with, which is important research. But anyways, digressing back off from my tangent, we have this little guy which I'm harvesting from my old fish tank setup. We're going to be using this to do lighting and heating control with our bearded dragon tank. So the reason why I have two though is for a very smart and important reason. One is going to be controlling both the UV daylight and our day heat ceramic heater lamp. And the other one is going to be controlling our night light red light bulb. Because you can't exactly have all three on, it looks confusing and junky and bad. So, theoretically, what's going to happen is we're going to have one set up where it turns on and off both the UV light and the ceramic heater on one, and we'll turn on the red night light heater light with the other one. So we'll have the UV light ceramic heater go off, and when that goes off on this one will turn on the the red light heating bulb. And then when this guy goes off with the red light bulb, this guy will turn back on with the UV daylight and the ceramic heater. Now it's important to notice that you're going to be having two different things set up on two timers. So you're going to be having them opposite of each other. So pay attention to your AM and PM settings and making sure you have it set right. Now typically it says in my research, bearded dragon has that of daylight between that of 10 to 12 hours a day. So, as you can somewhat see here, you can see all the different time clocks. What I'll do, and I'll show this once I do it with both hands, setting the time for an appropriate length of time. Currently right now it's set from like 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. So I'll get that adjusted and fixed right, and I'll bring you back once I have this guy opened up and start plugging these guys in, and we're going to do a test in making sure that the outlets on this one will turn on and off both lights at the same time and not only one. So I will bring you back when I get that set up. On a little side note, in this little box that came with the light here, and most other things that you buy, there's this fancy thing called instructions. So it's very important to read your instructions to understand the operation, how it works, and not just taking my word for it. But if we look down here at the bottom, it says attach up to 2 devices on the unit. So that means on each outlet on each side, both of these will turn on and off the device when we want it to based on our setting here. But we're still going to do a test, and when I'm ready for that, I'll bring you back. So be back shortly in a flash. Alright, and we're back. We currently got just one at the moment of our timer set on. I know it's kind of hard for you to see. The light's kind of crappy in here, but my current time right now is about 9:40 p.m. and these go in half-hour increments. So I kind of have it set just a little before 10 p.m. So what I'm going to do is a couple notches here I'm going to push down, and we're going to have that there as a test. And what we're going to do to test and verify that these outlets both will turn on and off, we are going to disconnect the UV light and our red light from our power strip that's always on and plug them into each side and verify that it works. So this should be the UV. Plug it into Mr. Handy Dandy outlet. If outlet does not outsmart you, that is. Which it seems to be doing at the moment for me. Okay, let's try this side. Hold on, let me set you guys down before I give you, inducing vertigo things. Alrighty, and here goes our red light. We got both of them in. Hold on. Sorry about that. About ready to drop the phone. Alright, so I got both of our outlets in, and as you can see, both our UV and our red light are off. So theoretically, when I change it to where it says the current time arrow to the indicators I have on, both of these lights should come on. Oh, see that there? So I'm right there on the edge, so when I push it, both the lights come on. So that means both of our outlets work. So if we go past the little indentation, they both come off. Now you got to be careful and sure that you have them all pushed down all the way, because if you have it only up or down partially, it won't fully engage. So like there, I just pushed down some more, but there's one that's not fully engaged, so it'll end it early. So if you want it for a certain time, you got to make sure it's pushed all the way down to come in. Then it will disengage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull all these back up. We're going to go set back our time to a little before 10. And what we're going to do is our timer for this to come on for things from here on. We're going to start with our 10 and go all the way around. Hold on, I'll be back. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. It's just easier to try to push and pull these pins in without trying to hold a camera at the same time. So, as you can see here, or hopefully you can somewhat see, I kind of got it going for almost a 12-hour time frame for it to be off. Now this one is going to be for both our UV light and our ceramic heater for during the day. During our night, which is this one here, it will have to turn on our red night light. Now I have both these plugged into the power source, and you notice there's a little thing off. I don't have my red light on yet. Both of these are off. So that just means to make the time appropriate, just add in another click. Oh, and I grabbed the wrong power cord. Good thing we do these tests. So, unplug this guy. He comes. There we go. Now, if we unplug this one, there goes our UV daylight bulb. We put him in over here. Sorry, he's been a little booger. Let me set you up on little Grow Goose phone stand here. Get this all plugged in. Alrighty. So now we got everything plugged in. So now, theoretically, what should be happening is when our red light comes on, our daylight and heat lamps go off. Now then, when the daylight and the heat lamp come on, this will turn off. But what I'm actually going to do, instead of leaving it a perfect 12-hour difference, we're going to increase it ever so slightly when it comes on and off, because I want a slight overlap. So what I mean by a slight overlap, during the night, this is our main source of heat. Now what's been happening is, because I haven't had these timers, I've been turning this off and then the heater here and the light on. Well, the problem is in the morning, this is bone cold. So when I turn this off, I turn off a source of heat until this gets warm. Now granted, it is a ceramic heater, so it's not going to take that long to warm up. But I'm in the middle of the winter down here in South Carolina. I don't want to risk it making my little lizard sick once he gets in. So by having a little overlap, it will give at nighttime, my little red heater enough time to start warming up in that 30 minutes. Then the heater and the light will turn off. And vice versa, when the light and the heater come on, my red light here is still providing some heat until my ceramic heater gets hot. Then once that gets hot, after 30 minutes, this will turn off and we're on a cycle. That, and I think it'll a little bit mimic more of like what the natural setting out in the wild would be for a bearded dragon. Think about it, you don't wake up, flip a switch like that, and boof, you have sunlight and heat immediately. So this will try to balance out the cycles for the bearded dragon. But we're not going to leave this unsightly thing here on the top. What we're going to do is carefully set our power strip back here. And he's going to set up there. And eventually what I'm going to do, I'm going to write day and night on each of those, so then that way when I come back to look, I can see that this is my day lights and that is my night lights. But that is pretty much it for the lighting control. Ooh. If you remember, I pulled out some rocks from my aquarium fish box. I got them all nice and clean now. Dad to the rescue again. The way we cleaned it is we put a little bit of bleach in with a bowl with cold water, let it sit and soak, and we scrubbed off all the algae growth that was still on there. And then once we got it all cleaned off, we soaked it in a bowl of just plain hot water once we cleaned off all the bleach to deactivate the bleach and make it safe for the bearded dragon. Then I let it dry, rinsed it off, and I let it air dry again. But we're going to stick these little guys in here. So, right down in here, kind of put that rock up against the wood there. So now he kind of has a hiding spot here for during the day, but that rock will be directly under our ceramic heater, so it should get nice and warm for him. And for this guy, this rock, we're just going to kind of just set him up there in the middle. It's anything plain Jane perfect. I'm still doing some research into that of making the decor a little bit better. But right now, I'm pretty much got everything I need to start getting a bearded dragon. So I'm looking and finding out where I want to get my bearded dragon from, what kind. And what I mean by kind is that there's many different morphs of bearded dragon. When most people think of bearded dragon, they think of the traditional tan, brown bearded dragon. But there's different morphs out there. When you do research, you can see all the different kinds. but the kind I would like to get is going to be more in line with the red morph family. So he's going to have the still same colors of like having tan, but he's going to have some nice red in with him, and just make a nice little pop in my terrarium. And I think, just for me personally, I kind of want to get a little red guy in there too. So that's why, between getting the tank ready and trying to find the type of bearded dragon I want, you got to pick the one you want. And don't worry, when it comes time to get the bearded dragon, I will make a video and show you me going and picking out my bearded dragon. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this probably somewhat lengthy, involved video of lighting control and heating with our timers, and added in some 2 new rock features to our bearded dragon tank. Alrighty, signing off.